This week on 49ers Cal High Sports, we meet one of the best basketball players in the nation, the talented Nathan Bittle. And we'll have the story of the amazing triathlete who's an inspiration to us all.
We meet the Tennyson football player and the tragic accident that changed his life. And our e-game tournament continues as we head into the league season. It's all next on 49ers Cal High Sports.
Welcome to 49ers Cal High Sports presented by U.S. Bank. I'm Robert Braunstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. We begin tonight with a father and daughter team from Mountain View.
Albany's Construction helps us bring you athletes who are just getting it done, just like Albany's Construction. Jessica Oakland and her father are getting it done at the highest level of high school softball. The St. Francis team is expected to be a force again this season, and the dynamic duo is a big reason why. The St. Francis softball field hasn't had much action these past several months. Head softball coach Mike Oakland is here today with his daughters Jessica and Jamie. Jessica is entering her third season as starting shortstop for the Lancers, playing for her dad on one of the Bay Area's very best teams. It's a father-daughter softball relationship that started when Jessica was 6.
One summer, we had some friends of ours convinced us to do a summer all-star team sort of for her rec league that we weren't really sure if we wanted to do, weren't really sure if she was ready to play something like that. And anyways, they convinced us to do it, and she ended up having a really good summer, and it sort of ignited her passion to play softball because it was it was a good level of softball, and she did really well.
We have a good relationship, and we know what to expect out of each other. And how we work, we communicate really well. And if something's wrong, he'll tell me, and I don't get mad or butthurt about it.
The relationship went to another level when Mike decided to leave as head coach of the baseball team and coach a softball team where he knew his daughter would play.
When this job was presented to me, I talked to Jess about it and asked her if this was something that she wanted to do because I wasn't going to do it without her, obviously. But when she said yes, that would give me the motivation to change gears and go into a different sport, although it's very similar, but to have the motivation to do it and to do it at a high level.
I've always thought he's a good coach, and he just knows what he's talking about. Even though he's only been coaching softball for a little bit, he understands how the girls work, how the players work, team dynamic, all that stuff. He knows how to run a really good practice, and I think that's helped towards his success and our success as a team.
The Lancers were looking forward to this past season and a quest for a CCS title, but when COVID came, the season was lost.
Yeah, it's devastating. I felt like we were going to have a really good team, a lot of talent in the program, a lot of talent on our team, and I felt like we could do some really good things. But for all the kids, not just Jessica, but for all the kids to lose the season, to lose the summer, it's tough.
It sucks. It kind of does suck, but at the same time, I think I trust myself, and I'm just ready for whatever comes September 1st.
This spring brings another dilemma. Jessica is also a starter on the Lancers varsity basketball team, and she's not alone.
Well, I have 3. They happen to be all starters for the varsity team, and hopefully they don't have to decide. Maybe we can find a way to make it work for both. We'll see.
Hopefully I get to play both, but if we have to choose, I'll probably obviously choose softball.
Either way, father and daughter are looking forward to Jessica's junior season this spring. It's a relationship that works.
Yeah, I was going to say, she probably doesn't like it sometimes, that I'm on her probably more than I'm on others. And I try not to, but it's sort of human nature. But otherwise, I think it's good for development. It's constructive.
I think he's a really good coach, and I'm not just saying that because he's my dad, but even our assistant coaches are really good, and they make me want to come out here and work hard and have fun.
Right now, Jessica is fielding offers from a variety of colleges. With outstanding grades, she hopes to attend a top academic school. She's working hard getting ready for this season with big hopes for her teams.
I think we're going to have a really good team, and honestly, I just want a CCS championship because I'm 0 for 2 right now in basketball and softball. So I'm just hoping to go out and play hard and hopefully come out with something big.
As Mike and Jessica walk off the field, there is still lots of uncertainty, but one thing is sure. This bond between father and daughter will last far beyond the games at St. Francis High School. Jessica will have lots of big decisions coming up. I'm hoping that she'll play softball and basketball in the spring, which will really be fun because she'll play, softball in the afternoon, basketball at night. She'll be a busy girl.
Yeah.
And then she's got to decide on her college for next year as well.
5 o'clock, she's going to be done with her softball game. She's going to go right to the gym.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll do a story. Follow her.
A day in the life.
A day in the life. Exactly. Stevens Creek Chevrolet brings us the Spirit Corner each week.
This week we feature the cheer team from NorCal Elite in San Jose.
Coming up, South Bay students doing great work to help out local hospitals.
And later, we meet Doherty Valley's Breezy Bohenick, a singer, triathlete, and all-around amazing person.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view.
And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
One, two, three.
Get ready to cheer for your next new or used car at Stevens Creek Chevrolet.
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
We're ready to make your buying experience safe and easy. Come to our dealership to see and test drive one of hundreds of great Chevrolet cars and trucks. Or you can go online to shop, order, and have your new car delivered right to your door. So get fired up for a great deal right here at
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Stevens Creek Chevrolet, find new roads. By Wingstop, order Wingstop's new all-in bundle, just $19.99. See wingstop.com for restrictions and details. And by Cupertino Electric, the company delivering power and possibilities and celebrating student athletes making a positive impact.
Welcome back to Levi's Stadium. Each week, Lexus of Stevens Creek presents the Volunteer Award, part of the Lexus of Stevens Creek commitment to promoting volunteer work. As I'm sure you remember, face masks, hand sanitizer, and disinfectants were very hard to find during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Very true, and that was even the case for hospitals. Well, one Westmont graduate made it his mission to help provide people in his community with protective wear. So he gathered students from all over the South Bay to help combat the shortage. This is Tianyi Daniel Lon. He's a recent graduate of Westmont High School, and right now Daniel is on his way to deliver face masks to hospitals that have been in short supply. Face masks that have been purchased and assembled by students in the South Bay.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generous donations.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. My mother is a nurse, and during that time there was a huge supply shortage for PPEs. And every day my mother would just go to work without any PPEs, and they had to use, by the CDC guideline, to use bandanas to cover their face and interacting with patients. And that is really scary, watching her to go to work every single day without any protections. And I found some supplies that would work to serve as a face shield. And I put up a few designs, and one of them actually looks really similar to the one that she used in the hospital. So in that case, I made a few bunch, and she brought it to work and also shared it with her coworkers. And that's when we realized the potential for this thing to be broadcast to other people as well.
Daniel got a team of students together and created the nonprofit Students for Hospitals. The goal is to provide personal protective equipment to underrepresented hospitals and clinics.
So we're going to be making one of these face shields.
This is Isaac Westelius, a senior at Monte Vista High School and one of the many students in charge of assembling. Each mask costs less than $1 to make, and supplies can be found on Amazon.
9 inches of double-sided tape. It's almost like work experience, right? It's very much like being part of a company, but you know, since we're teenagers, we depend mostly on our parents. Instead of getting money out of it, we can give something to others, you know? So it's a win-win because we learn how to be more organized and, you know, like keep quality up, but we also give to our community.
Isaac alone has made a few hundred.
And there we go. That's a face shield, quick and easy. Not my best, but there you go.
After Isaac's house, Daniel makes his way to another student's house. This time, it's Monte Vista senior Jackie Kai. Jackie has already put together almost 400 face masks.
It was actually Isaac that put it on his story saying if people wanted to help him make masks. So I contacted him, and then he let me join Students for Hospitals.
Both Jackie and Isaac are student athletes, using their time away from their sport to help their community.
Since I play volleyball, I can't do that anymore. So there's a lot of things that you can do to help the community that don't involve going out and interacting with people. So doing things at home to help with COVID is really important.
I was really surprised that many sports athletes, student athletes, are really willing to step up with the game during quarantine and use their time and effort to help with this PPE effort.
With the help of 18 students from 7 different schools, Students for Hospitals have provided over 4,000 face shields to 11 hospitals in need, raising over $5,000.
Well, the main goal for student hospitals is just trying to donate as many as we can to as many hospitals that are in need. However, that we think in the future, this can be turned into a bigger initiative in terms that we're trying to enable as many students who are willing to help, because we realize that there's a lot of effort and potential for these students that they're trying to do something, but they don't know where to start. They don't know where to help. So I think this can give them a chance or a venue to really express their gratitude for this community that they're living in. In the future, after the pandemic and everything settled down, we're going back to normal life. I think this can be a great initiative for a student emergency response team. Basically, with all the people that we have on board and all the people that we're going to recruit, we're going to teach them the experiences and the resources that we have had, so that in case of something big or something that, for example, a hurricane hits part of the U.S., and we're trying to group into money that can actually go to the people that are in need. So this is something that we can do as students to play our roles in the society.
So how many masks did you deliver?
280.
280?
Yeah.
Students trying to make their community a better place, one face shield at a time. Just a group of students doing amazing work, stepping up when their community needed them the most.
Yeah, just fantastic.
It was.
All right, coming up, the Breezy Bohenic story. We'll see how this Doherty Valley athlete is preparing for an Ironman triathlon.
And later, we visit the Los Altos water polo team as they prepare for the upcoming season. You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports.
Every day, the sun comes up. And right on cue, the work begins. We start every morning, knowing full well we're in it for the long haul. Our work is a labor of love. No task too small, no moment uncherished. And although we're not often thanked, we rest knowing that our work is making a brighter future. This is more than milk.
Go to SB Live California as your destination for the very best in local high school sports coverage online. SB Live brings sports fans exclusive articles, highlights, coaches, polls, and photo galleries. Get the SB Live app for the latest scores from games played all around the Bay Area and California. This season, SB Live brings you exclusive content in partnership with 49ers Cal High Sports. Follow us at SB Live CA on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. SB Live, the Bay Area's first destination for the latest in high school sports.
Unhappy with his current bank, John Forey was searching for a business banking partnership that could help his growing produce company thrive. So Tri-Counties Bank Treasury Management Officer Naomi Hernandez and her team dug deep and unearthed bushels of ideas to help his business bloom. Eureka! John switched his entire banking relationship, creating an even more efficient and flourishing enterprise. Now that's a fruitful partnership. For personalized problem solving, switch to Tri-Counties Bank. Service with solutions.
We are the Sequoia High School cheerleaders,
and you're watching
the 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
Each week, U.S. Bank helps us bring you stories of athletes who amaze us.
Aubrey, this week we meet Breezy Bohenick. Breezy not only survived cancer, she is thriving and now training for her first Ironman triathlon. Every day is a breezy day in this part of the San Ramon Valley. Breezy Bohenick is here every day training for her first Ironman triathlon. She finished 6 shorter triathlons, but the Ironman is something much bigger, especially for someone with just one leg.
I'm the youngest of 5, and my family was always very active, and I played soccer growing up, just like my older brothers and sisters, and I started having really bad knee pain, and I thought I had sprained it maybe, so I kept playing on it because I wanted to. But the pain got worse and worse, and I couldn't sleep through the night, and my parents knew something was wrong, so we went and got an MRI done, and they called us and told us we needed to go in, and then they told my parents and I that I had osteosarcoma, which is a rare form of bone cancer.
It was hard, especially when it's your child. You know, it's something that every parent says, I wish this could be me, but that's just not the reality. So we were in a very good position in that we had so much support around us in our extended family and this community around us, that just everybody rallied so quickly that it just took on some energy and some charge that we felt like we were going to go in the right direction and we were going to figure out how to be able to beat this.
After a family talk, there were lots of tears, but only for a short time. The family decided to take on the cancer as a team.
I was just scared that they were scared, and on the way home they were talking about telling my brothers and sisters, and I didn't want anyone to be sad. I didn't want to be the reason that anyone was sad. So I thought I would try to stay positive because I didn't want anyone to be down about what happened to me.
The big question was how to fight the cancer.
So I started chemotherapy right away, but then my dad, being a businessman, he actually made a PowerPoint presentation for me of all of my options of what I could do. And one of them, I could have saved my leg, but I would have had to have multiple surgeries and I wouldn't be able to run or swim or be active, and that's what mattered most to me. So I knew I didn't want to do that. And then he showed me a video of a woman named Sarah Reinertson, and she was crossing the Ironman finish line in Kona. And she was the first ever above-the-knee amputee woman to do that. And I looked at her running in a prosthetic and I said, I want that. If I can be active, I don't care if I have a robot leg, that's kind of cool, I want to do that.
Sarah Reinertson became a big part of Breezy's life. The decision was made to have Breezy's right leg removed above the knee to keep the cancer from spreading. After surgery, Sarah was there to help Breezy get through the first painful days.
Yeah, my family called her, and she actually called me before my amputation and told me that I was going to be okay. And then the day that I got home from the hospital, she was at my house and she met me and showed me her prosthetics and how she could change them and how she could run and bike. And it was really amazing for me that I never had to be scared and that I always had a mentor.
To have someone like Sarah be so generous with her time and knowledge was a huge comfort for Breezy, who was just 10 years old at that time.
It meant everything. I didn't have to wonder if I was done with sports and if I was just going to be sitting on the couch not being able to get outside and run like I wanted. She was there for me right away, and I knew that I had a full life ahead of me.
Part of the work that we do at the Challenge Athletes Foundation is really answer the question, what if or what now? And the fact that I was able to just help Breezy out in that time after her amputation, her whole family was saying, now what? And we were there to help answer that question.
The recovery from surgery was a series of victories and setbacks.
It just hurt a lot. There was a lot of healing to be had, and there were medical complications that took me back, and I just wanted to keep going forward, but that's not how it was working because we were still trying to make sure that we would save my life and before I would get back to sports.
Breezy had a goal of walking into class in 5th grade to get back to life as it was before the surgery.
I did not go through 4th grade fully, so there are some things when it comes to, missions or whatever that I don't know. But the biggest thing for me was I was able to walk into school the first day of 5th grade, which was really my goal, to be able to fully walk without crutches. And that was really amazing. They had a whole poster for me and all the kids were so excited to see me, and just being able to walk in on my own, that was really nice.
From there, life did return to normal. Breezy wanted to stay active and be involved in sports.
She probably couldn't play a sport like soccer with a prosthetic leg. What other things can she do? Triathlon was one that was right there in front of us, and so when we had this opportunity that came very quickly after getting her running leg, it was just the first thing we did. It kind of took a life of its own on, and so we were already involved a little bit in it. Now we started getting involved because of Breezy, and so then the whole family said, hey, I'm involved, and we all started doing this as kind of a healing process.
A few months after chemotherapy, when I was actually healing, I got granted a running prosthetic from the Challenge Athletes Foundation, and I was just really excited to learn how to run. But I had only had it for just a few days, and my dad had heard about this Wildflower Triathlon, and he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I had no idea what a triathlon really was because I was so young, so I just said, yeah, let's do it. And it ended up being so much harder than I could have imagined because we only had 10 days to train, and I had just got my running leg, so I learned how to bike, I learned how to run and swim, and we went and did it. And while it was so hard, it was super rewarding that I actually crossed the finish line, and it brought me into the triathlon world.
Breezy became involved with the Challenged Athletes Foundation. She entered events with other challenged athletes and gained a new circle of friends. She was honored with an award at a Challenged Athletes event. Her acceptance brought down the house.
And I was so young and I was afraid to give a speech, but I had just finished a play for my elementary school, and I was Ariel in The Little Mermaid. So me and my parents were talking, and we decided that I could just sing a thank you by changing the words to the song.
I want to be where the athletes are. I want to see them running, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, prosthetics. Now I can walk, now I can run, now I can play all day in the sun. Part of this world.
It worked out well. I think it went really fun, really adorable. Like, I just look back at it and I was so young, but everyone was really just impressed that I would get up and do that, and I think it's funny.
Now, 8 years later, Breezy is cancer-free and training for her first Ironman triathlon in November. She is comfortable with her leg and is determined to help others.
I just have known people that are amputees and they're older, but when they were children, they knew no one like them, so they were trying to hide it constantly. And what we're trying to do now, what I've always been about, is just never hiding it and always showing it, and knowing that it's cool to have a robot leg, and showing kids that it's cool, so when these young kids are getting diagnosed and they're having their legs or arms amputated, they don't feel so alone. And I've actually been really blessed to find a whole friend group, all my age, that live all across America, and we all love to be active, and we're all amputees.
Another beautiful, breezy day along the San Ramon Valley foothills. Like every other day, you can find Breezy Bohenick here training for a triathlon. There is lots of pain in her past, but now cancer-free and optimistic, there are lots of breezy days ahead for this courageous young woman.
I just think about how blessed I am to be alive and to be able to do this. Especially in the beginning, when I started getting back to this, I had a few friends that passed away from osteosarcoma, and every time I would run, it was so hard, but I said I was doing it for them, and it gave me the power to keep going. So just being able to do it, to be able to go through so much pain and still reach a finish line, that just shows how lucky I am to be alive.
So as you can see, just an amazing person. I feel so privileged to have met Breezy and spent some time with her. best of luck in the marathon, and as you go on in life, she's taking that gap year this year so that she can do the marathon in November, and she's gonna do great.
Amazing.
No matter what she does.
She's awesome. I love her.
Yeah, could talk about her forever. But
All right, Wingstop brings us the Wings of an Angel honor this week, where a student athlete talks about their favorite teacher.
Here's Lexi Giardina from Mitty High School talking about her favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher is Miss McDougall because she's always open to helping the students, and she really makes learning a positive experience because of her helpful feedback and teaching style.
Our Wings of an Angel teacher will receive a Wingstop gift card for doing such a great job.
Wingstop is also honoring Terry Blanchard, a Wingstop owner who passed away this past spring from COVID-19. Wingstop will be supporting scholarships for athletes of color in Terry's honor. Those scholarships to be presented at our end of the season awards banquet in June.
Coming up, we meet the Tennyson football player coming back after a devastating accident last season.
And later, the 7-foot-tall All-America candidate playing in Napa at Prolific Prep.
Piercy Honda, located right off Highway 880 in Milpitas, is where you will find hundreds of new and pre-owned Hondas to choose from. Low credit score, no credit, first-time buyer? No problem, Piercy Honda can help. Find us online at piercyhonda.com to search our inventory, calculate your payments, and even complete your purchase. Piercy Honda is home to great customer service, great deals, and a more convenient way to buy a new or pre-owned Honda. Go to Piercy Honda in Milpitas.
Are you ready to sink your teeth into a lemon pepper, sweet and spicy Korean cute-tastic mango habanero
master class in all things wings?
Yes, I am.
Are you though?
I'll take that.
All right. Get the new all-in bundle for just $19.99. Available for delivery and carry-out for a limited time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By DGDG.com, where we want you to be a happy car buyer. By the Rikes Center, where goals and dreams become a reality. By Tri-Counties Bank, service with solutions. 12 locations now open in the Bay Area. And by the Serino Group, here for good.
I'm Kathleen Pazine with Serino Group Real Estate, and I'm proud to support Bay Area high school sports on the 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
We are back at Levi Stadium with the Tennyson football player dealing with a horrible accident at the start of last season.
Kiara Biagini is here with his story.
Robert, James Mazon is one tough young man who has dealt with a lot of loss in his life. Last football season, the junior lost his father in a tragic accident the night before a big game. It was October 11th, 2019, a game day for the Tennyson Lancers, and the day James Mazon learned he would never see his father again.
He was coming back from the store getting some change from my grandmother, and as he was crossing the street, he got struck by a car.
He was struck and killed about 11:30, and he passed away a little bit after midnight. So I received the call from one of his family members at about 3 in the morning, and I was just so stressed out because I was trying to figure out how was I going to tell my son that his dad was no longer here. So
James Mazon III is named after his father, James Jr. The two shared a very special relationship.
For me, it's really like I'm just like reliving him, like his spirit is like in me.
They had a tight bond. They had a tight bond.
When I was younger, like when we would go to the park and play basketball or play football, like it was like a special bond that we shared that like I've always wanted to share with someone.
James was a sophomore on JV when he found out his father passed away. His mom encouraged him to stay home to process and grieve, but James wanted to go to school. He had an algebra test he didn't want to miss, and most importantly, it was game day.
He texted me, his text was, "Hey coach, if I miss school, could I still play?" And in my mind, I'm like, no, you have to go to school. You know, I was like, unless you have a reason, is everything okay? And he told me what happened. And I told him, you know what, you don't gotta come to school, you don't have to come to the game, like take your time with your family, we understand, like that's fine. And he was like, no coach, like he's like, my mom wants me to stay home from school. He was like, but I need to play. He's like, that's what I need to be on that field, I need to play. He was like, that's all I got. I was just trying to get my mind right for the game to be able to perform the best that I can. And it was pretty overwhelming because I was trying to be strong, because I didn't really want anybody to know.
James knew the best way he could get through all the hurt and devastation was to be alongside his brothers on the gridiron. There was no way he was missing his game.
I'm not really one for like sympathy, like, oh, like I'm so sorry for you, is there anything, like I'm not really one for sympathy. Like one thing my dad has always told me is to be strong and be a man, so that's what I felt like a man would do. He would be strong and just do what he has to do.
With a heavy heart, James played the night his father passed away and helped lead his team to a hard-fought victory. For James, football is so much more than just a game.
Oh, football, I've been playing football since I was 8. And football was always just like a stress reliever. Like whenever I was dealing with something or dealing with the loss of a family member, I've dealt with a lot of loss in my life. Any pain or hurt that I had that I didn't want to like talk about, I would use it on the football field, and it always motivated me to like go harder. So really I can say it made me into the football player I am today.
I am so proud of him. He's overcome a lot in his life. We've had a lot of deaths in our family, and the average young man being his age couldn't say that they've lost 9 family members in a period of 6 years. So I believe that helped him mature a lot, and it made him stronger. And he's always been an old soul, so to speak, so he's always been kind of mature for his age, but it's making him grow even faster and, teaching him life lessons.
When something traumatic happens in someone's life, they could go a lot of ways. And, if you don't know how to handle it, how to cope with this traumatic experience, then you could fall off in terms of you acting out of character. I've been coaching a long time, and I've seen kids that have suffered similar to what James experienced. And some of them dropped out of school, or they committed crimes, their grades fell off, they lost focus of their goals. But this young man was, it's a testament to how he was raised. He was grounded and was like, okay, no, I got to stay busy, and I got to stay active and focused on my goals. It takes a lot. Some people, we can understand that they couldn't go through with it, and this young man was like, I need this. And he was around his football brothers and family, and everybody knew what happened, and they showed their love and their empathy for him, and they were just letting him know they were there for him. And so I think it was good to be around family, his football family, and to stay active. I think that's a powerful coping tool, is to stay busy. I think that's a good lesson.
James thinks about his father every day and works hard to make him proud. He shares a few words to his father, who is watching down on him.
I hope I made you proud. I hope I'm doing everything that you've always wanted me to do. And I wish you could be here so you could see me live these dreams of mine and dreams of yours that that you weren't able to accomplish. So hopefully I'm reliving your dreams for you.
Football is molding James into a strong young man. He knows how to handle hardship and uses it to ignite his dreams.
James was brought up to varsity at the end of last season. He is expected to be a huge contributor for the Lancers this year, and he is ready to get back under the lights.
Doing great. All right, thanks, Keith. Coming up, a big story, 7 feet to be exact. We'll meet one of the very best in the nation, Nathan Biddle, next.
This is 49ers Cal High Sports.
Adobe helps us bring stories of top athletes performing at their peak each week. Aubrey and I got the chance to head up to Napa to see the prolific prep basketball team in action. These guys are really good.
They are so good, so tall too. They're from all over the country. And I got to sit down with the team's 7-foot-tall center, Nathan Biddle, and we talked about what it was like to commit to his dream school. Nathan Biddle is familiar with being at the top. Not just physically, he is 7 feet tall. No, since college recruitment began, Nathan plays the game as one of the top players in the country.
You see it, and I mean, you just get filled with like joy. I mean, you look at seeing a #1 ranked player in Oregon, and you see your name up there, and you're like, wow, like out of all the kids that play basketball in Oregon, I'm ranked #1. Like, it's very surreal. Like, you can never really take anything for granted, and you just see that and you're like, all right, like I want to stay there. I don't want anyone to take my spot. So you just keep working and working, getting better, so nobody will take that spot from you.
Nate is ranked the 8th best prospect in the nation and first on the list of players coming out of Oregon. You can give an argument for the #1 player in California, but Nathan has only lived in California for about 4 months.
So in Oregon, we didn't really know if we were going to have a basketball season. I can't get into my local high school gym. And I mean, down here, we know that we're going to be playing games. We know every day we're working out, practice, strength. And so, I mean, I just have more places like accessible down here than I do back home. So that's something that me and my family looked at and were like, all right, like I can work out every day whenever I want with coaches and have rebounders and everything like that. So that's something I wanted.
Nate moved to Napa just 4 months ago to play on the prestigious Prolific Prep basketball team, a program that prepares NBA caliber players for college hoops and beyond. But after this season, Nathan doesn't plan on spending much more time in California.
When I was younger, I mean, if you're from Oregon, you either choose the Ducks or Beavers, and my family was the Ducks, and just growing up, it was always my dream to be an Oregon Duck. And I mean, once you get started recruiting by these guys, like it seems so like surreal. And I think just knowing that I've always wanted to go to Oregon, grew up in Oregon, and I mean, that's close to home, I couldn't pass up the opportunity.
Nathan committed to the University of Oregon on September 15th, turning down schools like Gonzaga, Arizona State, and UCLA.
It was very stressful. I mean, all other good colleges recruiting you, and I mean, it's hard to tell other colleges no, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think I made the right decision.
So what is it about Nathan Biddle's game? Well, for starters, he's 7 feet tall and can pass and shoot like a point guard.
Me and my dad have always been working on my shots since I was super young. I've been able to shoot since I was really little. Finishing, post moves, every time we go to and do a workout, we do those 3 things, and I think that's something that's helped improve my game over years. So.
Yeah, he can stretch the floor, he can dunk, and he just plays hard. He has a great mindset. He knows when to shoot. He knows when he can take it off the dribble, and surprisingly, he has like guard moves, so he can put it between his legs, behind his back, like whatever you want. And that, I feel like that would make him, you know what I'm saying, an anonymous pick to be an All-American.
Nathan says being a top recruit is both exciting and intimidating.
I think something that's super challenging is just playing to your name. I think that when people see my name, they're like, all right, like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to like lock them up. And so I mean, you just have to show up every day, and that's something that's pretty stressful.
Nathan will put his game to the test, playing against some of the toughest players in the country. Nate says even though his family is a state away, they plan to be at every single game.
My family's super supportive. My grandparents haven't missed a game since I was in my freshman year in high school. So I have their support, and my little brother and sister have come to every single one of my games, probably since my 6th grade AAU days. They'll come down here whenever they want and watch games and drive back that same night, and there's no hesitation to them.
Nathan will stay with a host family during his time in Napa, but will soon be moving back to his home state to play for the team he grew up rooting for.
I'm very passionate about it because I think that it can take me to big places. Hopefully one day I'll be able to play basketball as my job, so that's my dream. Lefty?
Coaches and teammates have nothing but great things to say about the type of player and person Nate is. Can you imagine how excited he is to move back to Oregon to play for his dream school?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's 7 foot, but with great skills.
Yeah, look at that wingspan. Those arms are so tough.
Yeah, and a great shot, and
Yeah.
dunks pretty easily. All right, it's time for Deja Mu. Each week, Clover Dairy brings you athletes who are grazing their way through the professional ranks. This week, we feature former Woodside quarterback and longtime NFL wideout Julian Edelman.
Edelman is in his 12th season as wide receiver with the New England Patriots, but at Woodside High School, Edelman was a terrific quarterback before heading to Kent State. As a Patriot, he got lots of balls from Sarah's Tom Brady, but no question Edelman was a better high school quarterback than Brady. It's Deja Mu with Julian Edelman and Clover Sonoma Dairy.
He was much better than Brady.
According to you, he was a lot better than Brady.
Brady has a problem with that.
He wrote that.
He can give me a call. Coming up, this week's highlights from our e-game tournament.
You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports, the #1 high school sports show in the nation.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
For more than 65 years, Cupertino Electric has been delivering power and possibilities. With offices throughout California and project sites throughout the U.S., Cupertino Electric today builds renewable, commercial, utility, and data center projects for some of the most influential companies in the world. Beyond that, we are a people company. We build family, communities, and meaningful careers. Visit CEI.com today or connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social sites to see our openings and join our team.
Devcon Construction is #1 in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley because of trust. 95% of our business comes from repeat customers. They know the customer is our top priority. That's why Devcon was the choice for the 49ers Stadium and for the Earthquake Stadium. Devcon was also chosen when outstanding schools like Bellarmine, the Nueva School, and Mitty wanted the very best on time and on budget. Top Bay Area companies know Devcon is the best choice whether it's new construction or renovation. Devcon Construction, helping to build the best in Silicon Valley. While high school sports are not being played this fall, e-gamers are having lots of fun, so we decided to put together our very own Madden League with high school gamers all around the Bay Area.
We've teamed up with the Ultimate Gaming League to put together the first of its kind high school league. Here are highlights from this week's regular season game.
This event is powered by the UGL, the Bay Area's premier esports and gaming league.
I go to Valley Christian High School in San Jose, California. We have a really good football team, so I'm hoping to show you guys that I can do good in Madden too.
I'm Ian, I'm a senior at Grapevine High School. I don't actually play football, I'm a wrestler, but I play a lot of Madden.
I'm choosing the Ravens. It's just the Ravens are so overpowered in this game, I just have to roll with them.
I got the Packers because I lived up north for a little bit, so I'm a Packers fan. We're gonna see how this goes. Nice throw, nice throw.
This is caught. They'll run with Dobbins. And he will take it in. They'll run here with Ingram. And he'll take it into the end zone.
Had to pull that out. Yeah, I didn't freaking pull that out.
I had to throw it out, bro. I'm just playing him for now, playing with my food. Oh, I switched off. That's on me. He got caught. That's tough. Oh, never mind. Literally, I switched my man right when it did do it. So. Touchdown.
Another one.
Touchdown. 6-6.
Dude, my reads are terrible tonight.
Touchdown. Mark Andrews. He's young, bro. He did a whole circle. You had him in a spin cycle.
No, I knew it was the fake. Oh my god. Eli, no, I was like, oh shoot, this is the fake.
You couldn't do it in time.
Well, it's preseason, so I was taking it chill. I wasn't going hardcore. I had fun.
Hey, what can I say? I played football for so long, the game just comes to me sometimes, so the concepts that are in here, it just helps me on the field. All right, GG, bro.
Follow UGL on social media and subscribe to UGL World_TV on Twitch to view the full games.
Another exciting game this week, and if you'd like to learn more about the Ultimate Gaming League, you can find them on all sorts of social media.
At UGL World is the tag.
Very good.
All right, the Harker School brings us the Scholar Athlete Awards each week. This week we honor Bar Viner from the Los Altos water polo team with a crazy 4.65 GPA. We're going to hear from him a little later on in the show.
He's just showing off. Brought to you by the Harker School. Last week, transitional kindergarten students returned to campus with a limited schedule and new safety guidelines. All activities were held outdoors and helped prepare the children for future on-campus activities. At Harker, preschool through 12th grade students discover their passions. Learn more at harker.org.
Be sure to check us out on social media for lots of fun content, including videos, news updates, and more. We're at 49ers Cal High everywhere, including TikTok.
Coming up, we jump into the pool with the Los Altos water polo team, including that smart guy, getting ready for this season.
49ers Cal High Sports will be right back.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Lexus of Stevens Creek, we get it. By Clover Sonoma, the #1 milk brand in Northern California and proud partners of the 49ers. And by DevCon Construction. Build, perform, design, sustain.
We are back at Levi's Stadium with our Service by Medallion feature story for this week. Rejoining us now is our reporter, Kiara Biagini.
Kiara takes us into the pool with the Los Altos water polo team.
Aubrey, last year, the boys water polo team had a stellar season. We catch up with 2 returning seniors eager to return to the pool this season. Los Altos dominated the 2019 season. The team went 12-0 in the De Anza division, 24-3 overall, averaging a ferocious 15 goals a game.
We started off really well, and we went on to win league championships through our hard work and our collective effort, and every player fitting into the system and knowing their role and really working together as a cohesive team. As a team overall, we put in a ton of effort. We worked 100% of the time, all the time, to be the best team that we could be. All that hard work totally paid off at the end of the season when we came in 5th in our CCS division and making open division, which is the highest any public school has made.
Right now, the Eagles would be well into the 2020 season if not for COVID-19 and the postponement of all California high school sports.
So it's definitely not been the best feeling to been put on hold. For me, I think the important lesson to take away and what's helped me stay grounded and centered is making the most of every opportunity and bringing intensity to every practice that we do have. And still growing as a player through technical skills, and also working on my own time, lifting and gaining strength as well. As we anticipate, hopefully this upcoming season will at least happen at some point.
Obviously I'm disappointed. This has been a rough transition period in my life because of personal issues and family stuff, and it's been rough.
As if times weren't hard enough, Owen lost his grandfather at the start of quarantine.
It wasn't because of coronavirus or anything related to that. He had lung cancer and his health had been deteriorating. However, it still hit the whole family kind of hard, and we were just recovering from that, and not being able to see him and not being able to go visit him in the hospital was difficult for us. However, we managed to work through it, and I keep going to see my grandma almost weekly now, and she's doing well, and the whole family is getting back to normal.
The Eagles returned 6 seniors this season, all eagerly anticipating clearance to get back in the pool and compete for another league title.
I hope that we get to play, and I hope that worst comes worst. If we don't, I've had a fantastic career. But all I hope is that we just get to get back in the water, and I get to prove to everybody that my senior year is going to be fantastic. With my friends, we get to all put in the work and show everybody what we can do. All I know is I want to keep on improving and working to get better every day. So when our season does open up, our team and myself personally can be at peak
levels so we can go out there and compete. So it's just making the most out of every practice and bringing intensity.
So I feel really bad for our seniors, not just us water polo players, but for all seniors across the board. This is the weirdest, strangest time right now, and for everyone to be experiencing this can't be easy. With everyone being at home all day, quarantining, doing Zoom classes, when they show up to practice, I think it's the highlight of their day. They get to see their friends, they get to exercise, and I think once they can get back to sports, it's going to really bring some normalcy back to their lives.
Recruitment is a huge battle during the pandemic. It's hard for athletes to showcase their skills without games being played.
COVID has made it so a lot of the networking events like tournaments and competitions where we can meet coaches, we can't really do that at the moment. However, the college coaches have been really good and been really accommodating, and so most of the work has been over like Zoom calls, and they've been happening pretty consistently. The coaches have been doing a pretty good job to maintain the connection and also prepare us to join their teams and understand what the recruiting process is like. So all the teams I've been working with have been doing a great job, and it really has helped me know that like I'm not going through this alone, and others are in the same situation, and nobody really is having a regular recruiting season.
It's been kind of weird. A large part of the recruiting process is actually having coaches come and see you play. And obviously that can't happen right now because we aren't playing. And usually when coaches can't come see us play, they like to see game tape. And we only have so much game tape that I can edit down of myself playing and submit it to a coach. So I kind of have been just trying to stay in touch and like letting coaches know what I'm doing individually to stay in shape and to stay motivated throughout quarantine.
Owen and Barr are doing a great job adapting to these tough times. The high school water polo season is scheduled to start in January, and these two Eagles couldn't be more ready. It is a tough time for high school students right now, but this experience is only making them stronger. Barr and Owen are very bright kids with a very bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, tough times for everybody right now.
Everyone, yes.
We're all in this together. Coming up, we'll preview the stories we'll be telling you on next week's show.
But first, here's this week's training tip by our good friends at the Rikus Center.
Hi, I'm Coach Jack, and today's training tip is lateral lunges. Lauren is going to take a dumbbell, hold it in her hands, and take a step out with her left foot and kneel down. She's going to keep her knee over her heel while she does this and sink back into her hip. That is lateral lunge.
That's our 49ers Cal High Sports for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Robert Braunstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. Join us next week. We'll meet the boxer from Concord and how he's grown to be a force inside and outside the ring. We'll see you then.